The person you admire for their ironclad discipline is using less willpower than you did before breakfast this morning. Their secret is a system that makes willpower almost irrelevant. By the end of this, you'll understand that system and why your own fight for self-control is a battle you were set up to lose. And you're likely fighting that losing battle every single day, exhausting yourself for zero gain. Imagine a simple experiment. Two groups of people are asked to solve a difficult puzzle. Before they start, Group A is led into a room that smells of freshly baked chocolate chip cookies. They're told to wait for 5 minutes. On the table are 2 plates, one with the warm cookies, another with a bowl of radishes. They're instructed to eat the radishes and to absolutely resist the cookies. For 5 minutes, they sit there, fighting every instinct. Group B enters the same room and is also told to eat the radishes, but for them, there are no cookies, just the radishes. Then, both groups are taken to solve the puzzle. The results were staggering. The group that had to resist the cookies gave up on the puzzle, on average, more than twice as fast. They quit after just 8 minutes, while the other group worked for nearly 20. The puzzle was the same. The people were the same. The only difference was a 5-minute battle over a cookie. That experiment reveals a fundamental truth about the human brain. Your willpower is a finite resource. It's a muscle. Every time you use it to resist a temptation, to force yourself to focus, to make a difficult choice, you fatigue it. You start each day with a full battery of self-control. Resisting the snooze button is a small withdrawal. Deciding what to eat for breakfast is a withdrawal. Ignoring a notification on your phone is a withdrawal. By 10 in the morning, most people have already spent a significant portion of their daily willpower just navigating the minor decisions and distractions of modern life. They arrive at their most important task with a half-drained battery. This is the classic model of discipline. It's a head-on battle. You versus your impulses. You versus distraction. You versus the cookie. You believe that to be disciplined, you just need to get stronger, to fight harder, to have more grit. You push, and some days you win. But many days you lose because your willpower muscle gets exhausted. You feel like a failure. But if willpower is so fragile, how does anyone get anything done? How do people build businesses, write novels, or master an instrument? They are playing a different game entirely. They've stopped trying to win the battle of willpower. They have simply left the battlefield. Instead of fighting their environment, they shape it. They understand that willpower is a last resort, a backup generator for emergencies. Their primary source of power is a carefully designed system that makes the right choice the easiest choice. It's a strategy of intelligent laziness. Think of the writer who needs to finish a chapter. The brute force willpower approach is to sit at their desk, connected to the internet, and fight the urge to check email or social media every 2 minutes. It's exhausting. It's a constant war. The architect of action does something different. Before they sit down, they unplug their Wi-Fi router and put it in a closet in another room. The battle is over before it began. There is nothing to resist. The path of least resistance now leads directly to the manuscript. This principle is called managing friction. The most effective people add friction to their bad habits and remove friction from their good ones. If you want to stop snacking on junk food, you can try to resist the bag of chips in your pantry all day. Or you can just avoid buying them in the first place. You've won the week's worth of battles with a single upfront decision at the grocery store. If you want to go to the gym in the morning, you can rely on your sleepy future self to find your clothes, pack your bag, and get out the door. Or you can lay out your gym clothes, your shoes, and your water bottle the night before. You remove every possible point of friction. When the alarm goes off, there are no small decisions to drain your willpower. The path is clear. You just have to execute. You are engineering your own defaults. Your environment has a current. It's either pulling you towards your goals or away from them. Most people live in an environment designed by others for the purposes of others. App designers want your attention. Food companies want your cravings. Marketers want your impulses. Your default world is a minefield of willpower traps. The disciplined person becomes the architect of their own world. They curate their physical space, their digital space, and even their social circles to make their desired behaviors almost inevitable. Their discipline looks like an easy, graceful glide because they've spent their energy building the slide. This explains small habits, But what about the big hard things? The multi-year projects, the career changes, the master skills? You can't just put a solved equation on your pillow. For that, you need something deeper. A system that bypasses decision-making almost entirely. That system is identity. Every action you take is a vote for the type of person you wish to become. When you choose the salad over the fries, you cast a vote for, I am a healthy person. When you write one page, you cast a vote for, I am a writer. When you practice guitar for 15 minutes, you cast a vote for, I am a musician. In the beginning, these votes feel small. They feel like acts of discipline. You are forcing yourself to do them. You're using willpower because this new identity is in conflict with your old one. But with repetition, something starts to shift. The evidence accumulates. After you've gone to the gym 100 times, your brain starts to accept the new narrative. Going to the gym is just what you do. It's who you are. The internal conflict subsides. The need for willpower evaporates. The action becomes automatic. You reach a point where going to the gym requires no decision. In fact, a decision would only be required to not go. Resisting the ingrained habit would feel strange, uncomfortable. It would create cognitive dissonance. This is the heart of the paradox. The person who appears the most disciplined is often the one who is making the fewest conscious choices. They aren't disciplined. They are simply acting in alignment with their established identity. Their behaviors are the natural output of who they believe they are. Think about learning to drive a car. At first, it consumes all your mental energy. You are consciously thinking about every single action. Check the mirrors. Hands at 10 and 2. Ease off the clutch. Apply gas. It's a draining high willpower activity. A year later, you drive to work and you don't even remember the journey. The actions have become so automatic, they've been relegated to the subconscious. You don't use discipline to stay in your lane or stop at a red light. You just do it. The most effective people apply this same process of automaticity to their most important goals. They use an initial burst of willpower to design their environment and repeat an action enough times for it to cross the threshold into habit. Once it's a habit, it's a part of their identity. And once it's a part of their identity, it runs on autopilot, consuming almost zero willpower. They've installed a new operating system, so the goal is to make good behavior automatic. But there's a dark side to this. This same mechanism can lock you into a life you don't want, creating a cage so comfortable you don't even see the bars. And it all starts with a single innocent-looking decision. The decision to accept the defaults. Your current life, whatever its shape, is the result of a highly optimized system of discipline. You are already incredibly disciplined. You are disciplined at checking your phone the moment you feel a flicker of boredom. You are disciplined at watching another episode on Netflix when it autoplays. You are disciplined at the 1,000 tiny habits that produce your current reality. Your environment has been perfectly engineered, by you or by others, to make these behaviors frictionless. The infinite scroll is the most frictionless interface ever designed. Fast food is frictionless consumption. Your social media feed is a frictionless source of outrage and validation. The struggle you feel, that sense of being undisciplined, is the feeling of your conscious mind trying to fight a perfectly automated system. You're trying to use your tiny, exhaustible willpower muscle to fight an entire infrastructure of automaticity. You are a single soldier fighting a factory. It's a hopeless battle. Look at the path from your couch to your bookshelf. Now look at the path from your couch to your television remote. Which one is shorter? Which one requires fewer steps, less thought, less friction? That's your default setting. And that default setting, repeated over thousands of days, designs your life. The difficult truth is that your comfort zone is the most well-reinforced habit you have. It doesn't feel like a choice, it feels like gravity. The real trap is that the system works so well it becomes invisible. You attribute the results to your personality. You say, I'm just a lazy person, or I'm just not a morning person, or I don't have the discipline for that. You mistake the output of your system for a fundamental trait of your character. You see your behavior as a reflection of who you are, when it is actually a reflection of your environment's path of least resistance. This entire system, from environment to habit to identity, is built on one quiet psychological principle that governs almost every choice you make, without you ever noticing it. It's the law of least effort. Your brain did not evolve for long-term goals or abstract ambitions. It evolved for one primary purpose: to conserve energy. It is an efficiency engine. Given two options, it will always gravitate toward the one that requires less work. This isn't a flaw, it's a feature. It's what kept our ancestors alive. The most disciplined people in the world understand this fundamental law. They respect it, they use it, they don't try to power through resistance. That's like trying to swim against a riptide. Instead, they use their intelligence to redirect the current. They make the path to their goals the downhill path. They make their desired behaviors the most energy-efficient option available. Discipline isn't about having more willpower, it's about needing less of it. So the question is never about how to get more discipline. The real question is, what is your environment making you disciplined at? Because right now, your life is a perfectly tuned machine. You just need to decide where it's pointed.